everybody, this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens. It is September 28th. We are coming up to 2 weeks before our last frost. It's cold and rainy, and not a hell of a lot has changed. The only things that are really changing a lot are things I'm doing. So this was the bed that had Leo. This is the bed that had like a basil. Actually, you can see the remains of them on the ground because I'm super cool and just leave them there. So I'm gonna plant some lettuce and cilantro in here to have for winter. I cleaned up this bed. I trimmed up all the chive. I tore out that sage because I'm gonna grow a different variety of sage next year. I did the same thing in this bed with the chives. I need to pull this basil out because this is spent, but there's 2 chives in here that I need to pull out, and or at least pull out one and transplant. This bed is growing the cover crop nicely. There's some oats. This is the green manure seed mix. Not all of it has gotten in the ground, but it's taking off enough. You know, this pea is trying to help that along a little, push it down a little. They're getting there. That's what I get for just kind of sprinkling on top. That bed has changed none. That's doing the same thing. All quiet in the coop because there's only 1 rooster now, which is better. 1 rooster and 10 hens. So we're doing good. They're making a mess, as they do. So let's roll up along here. I need to dig this. This is row, we do this every week. This is row H. This is gonna be where my garlic is going. I'm doing 202 garlics this year. So I'll do 2 rows up along here. I need to broad fork it out, and I'm gonna add topsoil in. These are actually some of the tiller radishes that I kind of tore the ground out around them. So that's how steady they are, is they stay in the ground even when a rototiller is trying to tear them out. Path, row G, which has a cover crop in it, which is doing a lot better than last time. It must have just been too bloody hot. So you can see this is some of the brassicas. Here are some of the peas. This is I think it's called soil breaker or ground breaker. I forget what else is in here, but I'm sure I'll be seeing, I think there's 2 types of brassicas in here, one of which is, of course, tiller radish. There's this thing too, whatever this is. I don't recognize the young seedling. But this is the same. This is row F. This is the row that had the cardboard on top, and this seems to be doing way better than that row, which was attempted to be tilled, kind of like H, but it didn't do as well. What is going on here? Huh, I don't even know what that is. I was just looking at this. It looks almost like a violet, but I don't actually know what this plant is. Anyway, let's take a step back and get ourselves recentered here. Here's the garden, and we'll continue with what we did last week of just doing a walkthrough and going toward A. I tore, this is catnip that is coming back from the root slivers that are in the ground still. And this is going to be where I plant my overwintering onions. There's a poison hemlock because I can't get rid of this stuff. Lamb's quarters, endlessly volunteering. Red Express cabbages, taking off quite nicely. Green Express cabbages, doing even better. They look almost like they're even really starting to head, like these. These are starting to head nicely. Green Express is supposed to be I think it's 55 days or 50 days. And Red Express is 60 days. I really need to put higher hoops on here. This is Waltham heading broccoli. This has been in the ground. This was one of the earliest fall crops to be transplanted, but this insect netting is protecting it from cabbage moths. I don't know if this one is bolting or if it's just doing better than the rest, because these two are really curly, like the majority of the stem is laying on the ground and then they grow up. I don't know why brassicas do it. I kind of hate it, but they do what they're gonna do. Same thing here. That looks almost like a nettle. Huh, that'd be interesting. You say hi, Leo? Please don't eat the stick. Anyway, and then there's some more catnip. Ugh. There's some more catnip in there. As we know, this row has been empty since my cucumbers failed way back in, what, July? Something like that. Mushrooms are coming up. Mushrooms are a sign of good soil or something like that. Marigolds, still rocking it. Those are the bigger, I think they're technically firecracker variety. Those are seeds I saved from last year. They get pretty big and bushy, but there's a basil laying on it, so I'm not surprised it's not doing well. Petunia's still doing whatever the hell they want. The huge mound of, I want to say creeping Charlie, but I think I just made that up. Velar bush beans, Velar purple bush beans are getting overshadowed by yarrow, my nemesis, and some hairy vetch that was left over from last spring's cover crop. The volunteer Oregon sugar snow peas are happy, just doing whatever they're doing. Peas apparently like to grow just in little stands like that with each other. And my transplants that still need to be transplanted, but I still haven't done yet. That was on the list to do today, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow because I have a day off tomorrow too. 2 purple kale. I kind of like the way the back one looks better, but I know that one's bigger. Anyway, 3, well, that way technically. I think they're all kale. And then there's Swiss chard. I thought I planted 3 Swiss chard and 2 green kale, but I guess I switched that. And then this is purple sprouting broccoli, so it produces the little florets instead of the big heads. It's thinking about it, I think. This one's one of the tallest. I don't know why. Can't think of it. This is actually right in that spot is where I found that tomato seedling that just volunteered itself, because why not? God, it's hard to see through this mesh. But again, like, these are so tall and they're still climbing up and pushing up against it. So I'm trying to decide if I want to cut 2 more hoops to give this end a little bit higher, because I know this is too low compared to that end. That end's nice and high, but we'll see. Orange Sun and Jupiter bell peppers are still producing and actually have a lot of flowers on them and little baby bells, but again, you know, they're hot weather plants. God, this pepper is nice and big. I wish you would actually do something. Unfortunately, it's so late in the season, it's cooled off. Like today, the high is something like 67 degrees. So I doubt they're gonna produce a lot, like any more big fruit. They may produce the little ones. Like you can see that one right there, which isn't a bad size, but they're gonna slow down a lot. It's also been severely dry, and I haven't been watering that much. So one, actually that's the gold bell pepper. And then this is plant 1, 2, 3. And I think that's the 4th one underneath that basil poking out. I think that basil plant just got too darn big and shaded out that pepper plant. So I'm gonna have to do better next year about doing real small I actually got, I can't remember if I showed you guys, but I actually got a real nice small dwarf variety of basil that the leaves are itty bitty, but it's still a basil, so it'll still add the benefits. But it won't take up nearly as much room as this giant Genovese basil, which is beautiful. This is probably the only one I could actually eat from still because it's not flowering as much as the others. But now we're on to row C. All this chickweed is coming out, which is a good ground cover, but it creeps everywhere. Butternut squash are continuing to, I'm not going to touch it because all the powdery mildew, but they're still continuing to get big and ripen. Well, they're not getting any bigger. They've chosen their size. They just need to ripen, but these plants look abysmal. They are still putting out growth, which does attest to the resistant to powdery mildew thing. So, And then here's the carrot patch that is getting overrun, again, like everything else this year, with nasturtiums. And chickweed, and apparently these cosmos have decided to stay put. Look at that borage plant over there too. These little bluey, purpley flowers. I really like borage. It just gets too darn big. Anyway, continuing on with carrots. These are sizing up nicely really fast. God, that one almost looks ready. Look at that. You're going to be big carrots this year. Good stuff. God, I'm going to have to look at the date I planted those. They must be coming up soon. Look at this one pushing all the clay out of the way. I love it. I'm going to have to go back and look at what variety that middle one is, even though I planted 4. But looks good. I'm happy with that. Might be a keeper variety. And then these are purple pod snow peas. Again, I haven't been watering. It's been dry. I've been working full time. There's not enough hours in the day. Wine, wine, wine. I'll get some cheese with my wine. And then here's my one parsnip that actually seeded itself. Of like, this whole area had 3 strips from that stake. And then there were 3 strips of parsnip seeds that I put in from, I made my own like seed tape, and that's the only one that came up. I know I wasn't very good about watering them. Oh boy. I may have to unpeel this just to see how big this baby is. This is Redarling purple Brussels sprout. Hello? So this variety, oh yeah, look at that plant. What a beauty. I'm really happy with that. I should cut the top off that and try to stake you. You're getting big and you're leaning. Like the stem's way down there, the root's way down there. But you can't see it very well today because it rained this morning. But in these little, I call them armpits, but in the little nooks of where the leaves and stem meet on the upper side, that is a Brussels sprout. And technically Brussels sprouts are, I guess they're kind of like a flower bud that you eat. I don't really know, like botanically, what part of the plant it's considered, whether it's like a flower bud or, oh God, I should not have uncovered that. This is not going well. And of course, I want to uncover these things. I want to uncover my brassicas, but the cabbage moths are still out. I'm not uncovering anymore. You're gonna have to live with seeing these great big plants just pushing up it. This is amazing because these hoops, I thought there was I don't even know where they are. Oh, there it is. Duh, Abby. These things I think are something like 36 inches tall, but I think the green one right up against it. Look at that. The green ones I think are the shorter day variety, and they're like 110 days. So they'll be harvested in theory around October 22nd. And the purple ones are longer. They're something like, shoot, I think 120 if I remember correctly. So they'll be ready in early December. So like 8 weeks later. Oh yeah, look at these. They're already bolting though. Shoot. I don't know if I have enough hands to show you all this. So if you look at the armpits, like where I showed you on the purple one down there, that is supposed to be a Brussels sprout. And sorry, there's a lamb's quarters right at the camera. But I think they're starting to bolt because of the heat. And that's the trouble with buying Brussels sprouts. I don't even understand how commercial farms do Brussels sprouts. They might still be okay. They're just going to be a little bit looser. There's another plant back there if you can see it through the lamb's quarters. I need to weed this section. Ugh, slug damage. God, I hate slugs. They're slimy. I can do a lot of things, but I can't do slimy things. Okay, where'd that stake go? There it is. So once we pass to the days that are, I guess, less than, I don't know, 70 maybe then the cabbage moths will leave, but I will not count on it. Anyway, those Brussels sprouts are doing a lot better than I expected. I'm pretty happy with that. And then here's this giant purple basil that I still don't care about, but it's doing amazing. And these peppers are probably missing some kind of nutrient that I haven't done anything for because they're so curly. These are the Hungarian semi-hot. I think they're technically a block pepper. But every once in a while I come and whack them. That's how you get them to pollinate. There's still a good number of fruit on here, but they're just curly and they're difficult to work with because they're so curly. Like in the kitchen, they're difficult to work with. So my garlic is due to come in tomorrow, and I may do an unboxing video because it's from Keene Garlic, Keene, and it's the first year I'm ordering from them. And they do a 2-pound variety of what in theory will grow best in your area and your soil type. And obviously you can eat the garlic too. It's edible. It's not just seed garlic. Same with potatoes, but maybe I'll do an unboxing for that because this garden tour has really not been interesting. I really should just tear those peppers out. They're really not going to do anything more this year. But I'll debate that tomorrow. So I think that's it. If you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe for more, and follow my Facebook page, Realistic Kitchen and Gardens. Thanks. Bye.